really don't know what that liquid could be, and I don't know what that could be. Was it water or was it colored? I don't know. And again, it depends upon what this company is. What do they manufacture? What do they make there? So I don't know what that would be.
All right, Chief, thank you very much for that. And I think we're going to have you, if you can, just stand by. We want to head over to Eliana Moreno. She's in News Chopper 4 and see if she has any further information as far as this active scene here that we're monitoring, Eliana, out of Fullerton.
Annabelle, it looks like the patients who are going to go to the hospital have already been taken care of. I do still see a couple of people sitting here on the curb, but they may just be employees who were inside but are not injured and are now witnesses to everything that happened. So the police department is right in front of them there. They will likely be taking statements from them when the time is right. But I also have some new information about Fullerton Airport itself. My pilot, George Marcineau, is telling me that the airport is closed. So this, again, is not a commercial airport. It's all private aircraft, as well as Anaheim Fire and the Orange County Fire Department. But currently, the runways here at Fullerton Airport are closed following this plane crash.
All right, fantastic. Eliana, thank you very much for that. We're going to touch base with you in just a few moments now, but we want to talk to Hetty Chang, NBC4's Hetty Chang. She joins us live from Fullerton with new details on this crash. Hetty.
Hey, Annabelle, yeah, we just got here to the scene. We're on the corner of Raymer and Gilbert. And as you see behind us here, this is a very, very large fire presence, a very, very large police presence. And I want to talk now with the Fullerton Police Department. This is Lieutenant Tim Candler. What can you tell us?
Yes, today about 2:09 this afternoon, the Fullerton Fire Department and Police Department received a call of a plane crash in the 2300 block of Raymer Avenue, which is about 200 yards from the Fullerton Airport. As you can see, we have a big response by the Police Department and Fire Department. We arrived on scene and found this commercial building in the 2300 block of Raymer on fire. The reports were the plane crashed on top of the roof, unknown if it made entry into the building.
Okay, do we know what type of plane it is, what type of business this is, how many people were evacuated, if there's any casualties?
So we'll start with, we don't know how many casualties there are. The investigation is still going. The fire department is still actively putting out the fire and securing the building before the follow-up investigation can go find out about how many people were in the plane, what's the status of the people in the plane. But the business itself is a furniture manufacturing building. There was in excess of 100 people working in the building. We evacuated all the people out of the building to the east side, closer to Raymer and Gilbert, so those people are safe. From the building, there were 11 people that were injured. They were treated towards the end of the street at the mass casualty point by the Fullerton Fire Department. We have multiple agencies here assisting us, Orange County Fire, Anaheim Fire, along with Fullerton Fire, that are handling all the fire and medical, and the police department is doing the traffic control around the incident.
And Lieutenant, you said there's 11 people being treated at that triage area. What are the extent of their injuries? Were they inside the building at the time? Were they on the plane? Do we know?
I was told that they were from inside the building, minor bumps and bruises and minor burn injuries, and they have probably been transported to local hospitals by this point.
Okay, so of the 11 people being treated at this triage area, minor injuries we're talking about here, but we don't know if there was anyone killed?
We don't know that, and that's going to come a little bit later as the building gets secured and the investigators get a chance to go in and find out who was on the plane and what their injuries were.
Okay, so we know it's some type of furniture warehouse building that the plane crashed into from our aerials from News Chopper 4. It looks like the plane just took a nosedive right into the middle of the building. Do we know if the plane was taking off from Fullerton Airport, coming back?
According to the airport resources, the plane was coming in for a landing.
The plane was coming in for a landing, and this was just after 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Correct.
And do we know how many people were on board or what type of plane it was?
The airplane is a home-built Vans RV-10 airplane. 4-passenger seating is available. We do not know, other than the pilot, how many people are on the plane.
Okay. And what else can you tell us as far as the response here? I did see that there was a hazmat crew that was called, requested to the area. Do we know if there's any sort of hazardous chemicals or any of that concern in the air right now?
That would be for the fuel on the airplane, more than likely. We're not being told of any other hazardous materials inside the warehouse. Likely, I heard the fire department talking about how much fuel was on the plane, so the hazmat could be dealing with the fuel or any other materials that are inside the building that could be a problem for hazmat.
And is the fire out at this point? We know that everybody responded here about 2:09, and we don't really see too much smoke. I definitely smell the smoke. I haven't got
official word that the fire is out, but it certainly does look like the fire's out.
Anything more you can tell us about the plane, where it originated from, perhaps?
I believe the plane originated from Fullerton Airport and was coming back to land at Fullerton Airport.
Okay. Do we know where the plane was going?
I do not.
Okay. Anything else I'm missing to ask? Anything you want to add, Lieutenant?
I just want you to let the public know that we have several streets in and around this area of Gilbert and Raymer, Gilbert and Commonwealth. All the streets are blocked off. So if you're coming to the city of Fullerton, driving, do your best to avoid this area for now.
Great. Thank you, Lieutenant Candler with the Fullerton Police Department. So you heard it there. They're talking about 11 people injured. Fortunately, those are minor injuries. All of those people are being treated in a triage area, which I think you saw from our aerial footage from News Chopper 4. We are parked on Raymer and Gilbert, which is on the other side, and we did see about, I would say, 100 to 200 people, workers from this building. They were just standing there in the parking lot. They all seem to be doing okay, but those are the people that the lieutenant was talking about who were evacuated from the area. I was trying to listen to the phone interview, Annabelle, that you were doing with that gentleman, and I think that witnesses were saying that they had seen a plane sort of wobbling as it was approaching Fullerton Municipal Airport, and some people had heard an explosion. I don't see visible smoke from where we are, but we can certainly smell the smoke. Again, I did see a tweet about a hazmat crew being requested for the area, so we're going to keep an eye on that. But this is what we know so far. 11 people treated in this triage area. The good news is that most of their injuries are minor, but you heard the lieutenant there. We're not really too sure as far as casualties. He did mention that it was a homemade plane with the capacity of 4 people on board. We don't know the state of those 4 people, nor do we know why this plane made that landing and crashed into what appears to be the middle of this very large warehouse. And the lieutenant had said it was a furniture warehouse. We're going to keep going around and hopefully talk with witnesses about what they heard and saw here on the scene. But Annabelle, for now, back to you.
For that. It is 3:20. If you are just joining us, we are following this active scene there in Fullerton. Both the fire department and the police department there around 2:10 received a call that a plane crashed about 200 yards from the Fullerton